Hi there everyone, it's Cassie. Welcome back for another video here on my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be playing with the wax seal of the month and the stencil of the month from Spellbinders, and I'm very excited about these. They make me feel like summer is here. So this is what the wax seal looks like. Those are the beads I got with it, and then here's our stencil. The stencil is 5 pieces. There's 3 that will make some really cute balls, and then there's 2 more that each one of those will make like the sea and some sky, and then sky and or clouds and sun. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to make 2 backgrounds, and I've just got some white cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I'm going to start with this particular stencil. I wanted to make one that looked like the water because I'm heading to the beach here in, I guess, a couple weeks, and I am so excited. I cannot even stand it. So headed down to the Gulf. So I've got the different colors that I have chosen. They're all the distress inks. This first one is Evergreen Bough. And I'm going to start going very heavy with the Evergreen Bough, and then I'm going to go lighter as I go. So we're going a little less heavy-handed, and you just use less pressure. That's all you really have to do here. So I'm using a little less pressure, and then I'm going to move it up one more. And I don't think I'm even going to add any color to my blending brush. I'm just going to kind of go. Well, I guess I add a little bit, but I'm going very low pressure. I want this to look like a gradient color. Yeah. So we're headed to the Gulf. I'm so excited about it. I can't even stand it. Finally getting a break. All right. And then we're going to move on to our next color, which is Cracked Pistachio. Like I said, I picked out colors that matched the beads, my wax seal beads. I love to pick color combos to make a couple different cards with these that would all go together if need be. And so I've started with our I'm moving on to our Cracked Pistachio. Once again, I'm going to go lighter with that. I'm only going to do this last bit to the water, and I didn't even add any color to that. And I think that looks so nice. Very gradient. It's good. And then I'm going to clean off one part of the stencil. We'll put the sun at the top. And then, as you can see, I have 2 more colors there. We have Scattered Straw, and we have Wild Honey. So we're going to start with our Scattered Straw. I've got a yellow blending brush. We're going to blend that in there. And as you can see, I am also using this little Simon Says Stamp ink cube holder. I didn't trust myself, so I did add some mint tape to the bottom. And, I mean, it's actually fair that I didn't trust myself. I've done that so many times. And as you can see, I did get color on the mint tape. All right, so then we're moving on to our Wild Honey and just adding that to the edges just to frame up our sun a little bit more. And then once that's all done, we're going to pull this out. And then I'm going to work on this second background. I really wanted to use those beach balls. They just made my heart so happy. And every time I look at those beach balls, I'm thinking the color combos that you could do with them. So there's 3 stencils for that one. And so I'm going to put that first one down, and you know, we are sticking to the same colors that we had, but just imagine the possibilities with this one. I will say that if you are new to the kits, or if you're just not sure and you don't want to spend a ton of money, or you like getting a little something fun in the mail, my favorite kit that Spellbinders has is the stencil kit. I feel like there's so much bang for your buck with the stencil kit, and they can be used over and over and over again. I love stamps. Obviously, I love dies. Those are great too. But this, if you've got ink and a blender and some paper, you can just go crazy with it. So we'll bring in that second stencil that goes over the top. And that first color I used was Evergreen Bough. Now we're moving on to the Cracked Pistachio. And I do clean off my brush in between using those colors, but I do use the same brush for these because they're in the same color family. So I wasn't really concerned about getting any contamination in those ink pads. All right. And once we're done with that, we're going to bring in that third stencil, which is just the centers of each of those beach balls. I wish that I had brought in like some gold paste. I think that would have really made it pop. And maybe next time I'll do that. But I'm going to bring in just the Wild Honey for this one. And then it just looks so cool. These beach balls just make me happy. And I have never been disappointed with one of the stencils that has been the Stencil of the Month Club. So like I said, if you're just kind of on the fence and you're not sure which kit to get into, I would highly recommend the Stencil Club. It's so good. So I'm going to use a couple of other products that I have. This hot foil plate and die set is called the Curved Sentiments, or Curved Everyday Sentiments. And I had already foiled lots of those sentiments, so I'm just going to pull a couple of those out. If you're curious about foiling, I do have a whole folder of videos that if you head back to my channel you can see. And then I did use the notched corner frame to cut some the center right out of this piece of like a turquoise cardstock that matched. And so as you can see, I'm going to just center that over the top of my piece. And I obviously will have to cut some of that white away, but I really liked the way that this looked. So we'll make sure that that's on there straight, which is where the glue comes in super handy. And then I'm going to use my guillotine trimmer to trim down the excess pieces. And it looks like that was always meant to be. So I love it. So happy with how that is. So then I'm going to bring in a base. It's just a base that measured 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches and scored at 4.25. So it's a side folding A2 size card. I'll glue my panel down to the front of that card base. And then I'm going to bring in one that says Happy Retirement, because this one just makes me feel like relaxation and retirement, right? So it's awesome. And then I may put in some more embellishments later, but I did bring in a gold shimmer like gel pen, and I am just adding like stitching around the edge of that, which is super simple to do, and it doesn't need to be perfect. I just was having fun with this, and the gold matched the sun, and I felt like that brought that out, along with the gold foiling that we did that on the Happy Retirement. But like I said, I may add some more embellishments later, maybe some gold flat back sequins, something like that. I just think that would really add to it. I just didn't do it beforehand. So we'll finish that one up, and then we're going to move on to finishing up the other cards. So to do that, I'm going to bring in our wax seal beads and our wax seal kit that Spellbinders has. And you can use like a little votive candle. I think it's votive. I don't remember that. No, tea light, a tea light candle. I don't like to use open flame in here, so I will, put my holder down on top. This is what our wax seal looks like. It's the sun and the waves. It's so pretty. And then I did put one of each of the blue colors and then 2 of the gold in there. And I like to heat mine with my heat tool. It's a simple way to do it. It goes pretty quickly, and that takes away from needing an open flame. And I know some of you had talked about using, I guess, an automatic heater. I haven't looked that up, partly because the heat tool works great for me. So once I get that all heated, going top and bottom, I'm going to use this into a circular motion because our wax seal is circular, and look at how pretty that looks. Oh my gosh, it makes me so happy. And then we'll put our seal down into it. You only have to let it sit there for about 10 seconds or so until that cools, and then you can peel that back. The mat is great because everything just goes together. I love how that looks. So I'll make another one, and then I am going to bring in a gold paint pen. It's the DecoColor one that Spellbinders carries, but if you have any sort of paint pen, you can use those. I used a Sharpie paint pen on some last month, but the gold, I wanted to really just make the sun pop a little bit more. If you were really good with wax seals, you could probably find a way to do the gold where the sun is and the blues where the ocean is, but I am not that talented yet. I haven't really tried, so we're going to stick with that. So now we can finish off our second card. I'm going to use the seal on that. I just love how that looks. It just makes me happy. And that's how that one looks. They both just make me happy. All right, and we're going to use many thanks on that one. I need a ton of thank you cards here by this weekend. I've got so many people to thank. But yeah, moving on, we're going to trim down our panel to be 4 inches by 5.5 inches. So that's only going to leave about 1/4 of an inch of that white showing from our card base. I just like doing that sometimes. I think that adds a little bit of interest. So we're going to glue that down to our card base. Once again, it's an A2 size card base. And then we're going to attach down our sentiment, the many thanks, and then I'll put our wax seal right on top of that using our glue as well. Now, Spellbinders does carry little glue bits that go behind the wax seal, so they're easy to adhere, but the glue works also. So that's how that card looks. I love how they both turned out. I love this color combination. I hope you like it too. If you do, hit that like button. Definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And as always, I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye, everybody.